Hello, guys and girls. This is Wager Detective coming at you. Today is June 16th, 2026, and we're going to cap this Kansas City Royals game versus the Washington Nationals. Before we get into that, be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Wager Detective loves all his fans. I know it's been a week, a little rest and relaxation for Wager Detective, and I feel so good. So, reporting live from Tropicana, Atlantic City, June 16th, 2026. Let's get into this cap right here. The Royals taking on the Nationals. Let's start it off. The Royals 4-6 in their last 10. They're 12-23 on the road this year. They're 6-13 in one-run games, 5-8 in interleague play, and they're 3-16 versus left-handed pitching, which they will be seeing today in Foster Griffin. Now, if we look at how these two teams have played, we know yesterday the Nationals got a hold of the Royals, beat them 7-3. But the Royals are 6-4 in their last 10 versus the Nationals, scoring 4.3 runs per game to 4.6 for the Nationals. Comes out to 9.2 runs per game average. The Nats have been shut out twice in the last 10 meetings versus the Royals. The Royals are 3-4 their last 7 at the Nationals, 3 over, 4 under, 3.29 runs per game to 3.71 for the Nationals. So Royals doing pretty good last 10 versus the Nationals, and they're middling last 7, being 3-4 at last 7 at the Nationals. So let's look at the Royals. They are 7-14 in road night games this year. They were swept by the White Sox in one of those series. So 7-14 in road night games for the Royals. 8 over, 13 under. They're scoring 3.52 runs per game to 4.47 for their opponents. That's a 74-94 run differential there. In their 21 road night games, the Royals have scored 2 or less 8 times, and they've scored 5+ runs 6 times. Their opponents in the Royals' 21 road night games have scored 7 times. They scored 2 or less, but their opponents have scored 5+ 12 times in the Royals' 21 night games. So that's way more than 50% of the games. Wager Detective is already leaning towards the over here. The over is set at 8.5 at -122. The under's coming back at +100. The Royals are +110 in this game, and the Nationals are -130. Now, if we look at the last 9 games, overall, the Royals are 4-5. They've played Minnesota, Texas, Houston, and Washington yesterday. And in their last 9 games overall, 5 over, 4 under, that 8.5. Last 9 games, Royals are scoring 4.66 runs per game. The 5 runs per game average for their opponents comes in at 9.66 runs per game average. And the Royals' opponents have scored 5+ 5 times in their last 9 games overall. Now, if we look what the Royals have done road interleague this year, they are 4-6, 3 over, 7 under. Road interleague games this year, the Royals are scoring 3.4 runs per game to 3.7 for their opponents. And the Royals' opponents in road interleague games this year have scored 5+ 4 times. So Royals are being scored on. They're not really scoring that much over their last 9, they are scoring 4.66. But road interleague, they're scoring 3.44. They scored 3 yesterday. I expect there to be runs here in this game. Now, there is always an angle to the cap, and since this is the second game of a series, we see what the Royals have done. And this is pretty interesting. The Royals are 1-8 in the middle game of a road series this year, of a 3-game series. They're 1-8, 2 over, and 7 under. Something to keep in mind. Now, it doesn't look good now, but again, if you were on that trend for all that time leading up to this, these 9 games, you made some money. You made some money just on that one trend right there. You're cleaning up. So again, the Royals 1-8 in road middle games of a 3-game series this year. Now, on the mound is going to be Michael Wacha, and the Royals are 0-5 in his last 5 starts. They're 0-5 in Wacha's last 5 starts, 1 over, 4 under. Their opponents have scored 4+ in all 5 of those games. The Royals have scored 3 or less in all 5 of those games. So they're they're not winning with them. The last 5, the Royals have lost. Now, does that continue here? Sometimes when a trend is happening, you get to that trend late, you jump on it. Let me build my case here, but something to think about. Wacha, The Royals are 0-5 in his last 5 starts. In his last 5 starts, he's 30 and 2/3, 36 hits, 17 earned runs, 9 walks, and 3 home runs. Comes out to a 5 ERA, a 1.47 WHIP. He's giving up 0.88 home runs per 9 over his last 5. Now, overall in the year, the Royals are 4-10 when Wacha starts. So you're building even more of a case for the Nationals here. So the Royals 4-10 when Wacha starts this year. They're 0-5 in his last 5. On the year, Wacha has a 1.16 WHIP. He's giving up 1.02 home runs per 9 on the year. Now, he is going to be on 4 days rest this year, and it gets a little bit better for the Royals. They are 3-4 when Wacha starts on 4 days rest this year, 1 over, 6 under. And in those 7 games, he has a 1.21 WHIP, a 2.93 home runs per 9. It's absolutely astounding. And 2.93 ERA, and he's given up 0.97 home runs per 9. So Wacha on 4 days rest this year, they are a little bit better, right? They're 0-5 in his last 5 starts. They're 4-10 on the year when Wacha starts overall. But the only bright spot, not if you want to call it that, they are 3-4 when he starts on 4 days rest. He's got a 2.93 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. Now, the Royals, when Wacha starts this year, they're 1-6 when he starts on the road. Okay, 2 over, 5 under. In his 7 road starts this year, he has a 1.33 WHIP, 4.43 ERA, and he's giving up 1.33 home runs per 9. So, the only bright spot in this part of the cap is the fact that the Royals, to this point of the cap, they're 6-4 in their last 10 against the Nationals. They're 3-4 last 7 at the Nationals. They're 0-5 when Wacha starts in his last 5 starts. The Royals are 4-10 when Wacha starts in all his games this year. And they're 3-4 when he pitches on 4 days rest, and they're 1-6 when he starts on the road. If I'm looking at all that, I'm already leaning towards the Nationals. But let's get on with the cap and let's see if that holds up. Now, the Nationals this year, 7-3 in their last 10. They're 10-10 in one-run games. So they're marginally better than the Royals in one-run games, where, like we said, the Royals are 6-13. Royals 6-13 in one-run games, and the Nationals are 10-10. Now at home this year, the Nationals are only 15-21 overall, but they are 11-5 in interleague play. So they're 11-5 in interleague play. The Royals are 5-8 in interleague play. So right there, from everything we've capped, we're leaning towards the Nationals minus that 130. Now in home night games this year, the Nationals aren't all that good. They are 7-11. So they're 15-21 at home, but they're 7-11 in home night games this year. Okay, that's 16 over and 2 under in those games. So we're already looking towards that over in this game as well. So 7-11 for the Nationals in home night games this year, 16 over, 2 under. They're scoring 5.94 runs per game to 6.94 for their opponents. That's coming out over 12 runs per game average in the Nationals home night games this year. In their last 9 overall, the Nationals are 6-3, 6 over, 3 under. In their last 9 overall, they're scoring 6 runs a game to 4.44 for their opponents. It comes out to a 54-40 run differential over the Nationals' last 9 games overall. Home interleague games, the Nationals 7-3, 9 over, 1 under. In their home interleague games this year, the Nationals are scoring 7.1 runs per game to 4.7 for their opponent. Okay, and that's coming out to over 11 runs a game as well. So in those 10 home interleague games for the Nationals this year, they scored 5+ 6 times. So they're scoring 5+ 60% of their home interleague games this year. They're just absolutely swinging the bat well, and we're going to get into who those guys are as we get into this cap. Now, the Nationals, they are 4-5 in the middle game of a home series, 8 over, 1 under. Okay, so everything trending towards that over. In the middle game of a home series this year, in a 3-game series, they're scoring 7.33 runs per game to 5.22 for their opponents. That's a 66-47 run differential advantage for them. Comes out to 12.55 runs per game average. So everything here by the books is being set up for an over. It shows by what the book has set up, minus 122. If you like the over, we said, keep in mind who's going to be on the mound and what Wacha's doing. as we get further in this cap. Now, on the mound for the Nationals today is going to be Foster Griffin. Okay, they are 4-1 in his last 5 outings, 4 over and 1 under. In his last 5 outings, Griffin has a 1 whip, 3.33 ERA, but he's giving up 2.33 home runs per 9. Okay, guys, if you're going to look at anything, I'm looking at home run props here. I gotta be looking at home run props, and I'd be looking at maybe Bobby Witt Jr. I'd be looking at Sal Perez, Michael Garcia. I'd be looking at those guys. Garcia, they got in the 4th spot, as you see on the screen there. So be looking at some of those guys to maybe get a home run, because, again, Griffin in his last 5 outings, he's given up 7 home runs. Comes out to 2.33 home runs per 9. He does have a 3.33 ERA and a 1 whip. So it's not the whip. It's not the whip. It's not the ERA. It's just the home runs. Now, if you get guys on base, that's going to cause problems for the Nationals at some point in this game. If the Kansas City can find a way to get on base, create traffic, this guy will give up home runs. Now, Griffin on 5 days rest this year, which will be on here, 4-3. The Nationals are 4-3 this year when Griffin starts on 5 days rest. In his games on 5 days rest, he has a 1.14 whip, 3.59 ERA, and he's giving up 1.91 home runs per 9 on 5 days rest this year. So they're looking good in his last 5. Nationals 4-1 when he starts, and they're 4-3 on the year when he starts on 5 days rest. And at home this year, he is the result is 3-2 in favor of the Nationals. So 4 over and 1 under when Foster Griffin starts at home this year. 4 ERA, a 1.30 whip, and 2.07 home runs per 9. So the guy's giving up nearly almost 2 home runs per game between the last 5 days rest, and when he starts at home this year. And guys, I mean, he has a good ERA on the year, 3.46. But again, there's going to come a time where you just don't have that game where you're just pitching good. And if a couple balls, they get lifted, they get rocked. I'm leaning towards the over in this one. If we look at who's doing what as far as batting averages, you got on this team, Nationals got 3 guys in the top 70. You got Abrams batting 285, Wood batting 282, Lilly batting 263. On the Royals side, you got Bobby Witt Jr. batting 284, and then you got Michael Garcia batting 267. When we look at home runs, you look at the Nationals, man. Wood with 20, he's number 4 in baseball. You got Abrams, number 29, with 14, and you got Meade and Garcia. They both got 10 home runs apiece. On the Royals side, you only got Bobby Witt Jr. and Sal Perez. They both come in at 9 home runs apiece. RBIs, same thing with the Nationals again. Abrams with 53, number 5 in baseball. You got number 14, Wood, with 46, and you got Garcia with 45 RBIs, and you got Lilly with 37. And to be honest with you, at the end of the day, that's probably what you're looking at here as we venture on into this cap and we see what's going on. Okay, so again, that right there is what you want to be looking at. With these 2 pitchers on the mound, there's probably going to be a lot of runs scored in this game, and the Nationals got plenty of guys to get the runs across the board there. On the RBIs for the Royals, you got Jensen and you got Pasquantino coming in with 36 and 32 respectively for them. And in stolen bases, Bobby Witt Jr., number 1 in Major League Baseball with 26 stolen bases. And then, ironically enough, you got Nunez for the Nationals coming in at number 2 in baseball with 25. So they got 2 guys on the base paths that can score in this game. But the one thing is, Bobby Witt batting number 2, and you got Nunez, he's batting number 9. So a little bit more of an opportunity to possibly see Bobby Witt maybe steal a base here in this game. All right, so if we're going to look at this game right here, as there's just traffic. No matter where I go, there's always going to be traffic wherever I'm at, wherever I'm around. It's just the energy that Wager Detective gives off. So let me transverse over here. Don't really want people hearing what I'm saying. Okay, so as we look at this game, guys, I think the game goes over. I think 8.5 is light. I'm surprised that it is 8.5. I mean, it sounds like to me the books opened it up at 9, and then somebody came in and probably made that, because the book is going to, if they could get a -10, 110 on each way, they're looking for that. I think it should be at a 9. I think this game should be at a 9, and it tells me that there was probably heavy money on that under 9, so that's why they dropped it down to 8.5, and that's why you're laying chalk there on that. That's just my guess on this one. I would take the over in this game, no question about it. And if I'm talking about who's going to win, I think there's going to be home runs in this game. I think you could see a couple rocket launchers that blast off into the galaxies here in this game. It's going to be interesting to see who does it. You could probably see a home run from Wood or Abrams in this game. Bobby Witt Jr. on the other side, Sal Perez on the other side. For the Royals to probably get a home run. But if I'm looking at this game, all things considered, all metrics lead towards the Nationals winning this game, and I think the game goes over again, and that's going to be the call here. Wager Detective, June 16th, 2026, is calling the Washington Nationals and the game to go over. I think it's going to be just a copy, rinse and repeat from what we saw yesterday, and I do believe the Nationals come away with the win here. And I think the way both these teams are playing, I think the only thing that really scares me in this one, by taking the Nationals, is they are 7-11 in home night games, whereas the Royals are 7-14. But still, even there, the Nationals are a little bit better there, and they're scoring more runs. In their home night games this year, in their 18 home night games, they're scoring 5.94 runs per game average. And in the 21 road night games for the Royals, they're scoring 3.52. So right there off the bat is just a sign, even though the Royals, the only bright spot is they're 6-4 in their last 10 against the Nationals. I'm going with the Nationals. That's going to be the call here, Wager Detective. I think this team is going to continue to stay hot. I think they're a dark horse to make something happen. Do they necessarily have the pitching? Maybe not, but they got the bats that can keep them in any game. They're one of the best lineups in baseball. Look at that. Wood, Garcia, Meade, Abrams, Cruz, Lilly. I mean, they just got guys. And then you got your number 9 guy, who still is number 2 in baseball in stolen bases, Nasim Nunez. So when you look at that, when you add up all those pieces, I just believe that when it comes down to it, the Nationals are just going to outscore them. They're going to find a way to outscore them. Waka doesn't look good. Royals 0-5 in his last 5 starts. They're 1-6 when he starts on the road, and I don't think you get much better. I don't think you get better from there. Now, again, I do believe that the Royals could make this interesting with a couple home runs if a guy gets on base, because again, Griffin does give up a lot of home runs. So expect there to be home runs in this game, guys. Make no mistake about it. At least 2, maybe more. But at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, Wager Detective is going with the Washington Nationals, -130, and the game to go over 8.5 at -122. This is Wager Detective. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Be sure to set alerts on Twitter, and be sure to be on the lookout for the Wager Detective report up on YouTube daily. Wager Detective is back. I love all my fans out there, and I'll talk to you soon.